Hello everybody, and once again, it is me, the J to the E to the double F-ree. This is Jeffrey Harris, and welcome back to the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast. Yes, we are finally back with a new exclusive interview here for you today. I am sorry about the wait, but we are finally back, and we are speaking to MLW wrestler Gino Medina, formerly a member of the Dynasty. On Wednesday, April 14th, it is official. He is going to face his former Dynasty stablemate, Richard Holliday, for the Caribbean Heavyweight title. This is a huge matchup. It is the biggest matchup of Gino Medina's career thus far. He is undefeated this year in 2021. I am very excited to speak with Gino Medina, who is currently based in Houston, Texas, my hometown. He trained under WWE Hall of Famer Booker T. He says he left Dynasty. Dynasty says they fired him, so he has a lot to say about that. So stay tuned, an exclusive interview with Gino Medina here on the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast. All right, here we go, everybody. This is Jeffrey Harris with the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast. And for today's interview, we are talking to the one and only El Intocable, the Latin heartthrob, the untouchable, Gino Medina. And Gino, you will be facing your former stablemate, Richard Holliday, on April 14th on MLW Fusion. This is a huge match. This is one of the biggest matches of your career, probably the biggest match of your career to date. So, how do you feel going into this huge matchup against Richard Holliday?
I'm very excited because it's my first title match at MLW, so it'll be a good test and kind of see where I'm at, and and I got a little feud going on with Richard Holliday, so can't wait to kick his ass. I can't wait to kick his ass and win some gold. So I'm pretty excited to do that, and I'm pretty excited to kind of have a big matchup down at MLW. I've been kind of just having a match here and there, but now I get this big matchup, which I'm very excited for. I've been training really hard. I've been, working out and kind of, getting that cardio up to keep up there with Mr. Richard Holliday.
Now, back in October, you said you ditched the Dynasty. The Dynasty said they got rid of you. Why don't you tell us what really happened?
So, the Dynasty, they only talk about tanning and coffee, and Richard Holiday has daddy issues, talking about his dad all the time. But me, I didn't really care about all that. I just wanted to talk about the mamacitas. I wanted to talk about the ladies, and they weren't about that. We're very off on that. So we kind of just split. I left Dynasty. They say they fired me, but I just kind of let them run their mouth, kind of let them say what they got to say. But I know it's true. I know the mamacitas know it's true, and they know that I was with them at a point. I was with the mamacitas at a point, and they didn't like that. So it's whatever. They're gonna say what they got to say. But for me, I know it's true. The mamacitas know it's true, and that's all that really matters.
Did you ever feel like you truly belong with the Dynasty?
I thought, in ring wise, we're all, I respect the hell out of, Richard Holliday, for his in-ring work, for Alexander Hammerstone. I respect the hell out of his wrestling as well, and I believe I'm a good wrestler as well. So I do believe in that perspective we're pretty good. We're all three, guys that were in there just kicking ass. But personally, I feel like we never really clicked because of that, because of me, having different priorities than them. Their priorities were, coffee and tanning, and me, it was a mamacita. So, honestly, nope. We never really clicked. I never belonged in Dynasty.
So, you're facing Richard Holliday. You're a former member of the Dynasty, and then there's the Caribbean Heavyweight title on the line. Are there any hard feelings there? I mean, are there any emotions? Is there still anger going into this? How do you feel?
Yes, I'm kind of pissed off because, like I said, he claims that he kicked me out. And I know that's not what happened. He tells the whole world that He kicked me out of Dynasty. He did this. He did that. He basically trying to humiliate me, trying to say that he kicked me out. So yeah, I'm a little pissed off that he's out there running his mouth. Where like I said, I know the truth, and I know I left Dynasty. But yeah, man, there's a lot of little, there's still some heat there between Richard Holliday and I. And, I'm excited to finally get my hands on him.
Now, I mean, you came into the group not long after MJF left. Did you feel like they were using you as a member of the group, and maybe they didn't have as big of plans for you as they sold to you?
Yes, because I had two of the offers. I had the offer of going with Selena La Renta and going with Conan, but they kind of, hyped it up, that I would have this and I would have that. And, it was cool when MJF was there, but as soon as MJF left, the Mamacitas left too. So it wasn't a lot of fun after that. So yeah, man, I feel like they hyped it up, kind of like, we had that honeymoon phase at first, and it was all cool and whatnot. But after that, it all started getting kind of boring.
Now, you've been undefeated since MLW returned to action, and you've won all your matches. Do you think this proves that you never needed the Dynasty at all, and you don't need them to be successful?
That's what I was just thinking about, man. I was like, man, I'm better off with Dynasty. Before the comeback, I had just lost to Mance Warner. I lost to Mance Warner. I lost to a couple of other guys. And, and I wasn't as successful. But now I feel by myself, I feel like, I don't know, just in general, I'm more of a, kind of to myself guy. So I feel more comfortable just being by myself, kind of just doing my own thing and kind of just trying to make a name by myself, kind of not trying to go off them, and I'll give them some credit. They did kind of show me the ropes of how MLW works and whatnot. So as soon as I learned that, I know I didn't really need them anymore. And as you can see, I've been very successful ever since.
So now you're a solo act. Do you prefer it this way, and do you think you're better as a solo act?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now how frustrating is it, Richard Holliday, and he's constantly going on and on about his coffee and his AirPods. Like, does that get on your nerves or what?
Yeah, like I said, that's where we didn't really click, That's all he talked about, his AirPods and his coffee and whatnot. I'm like, I got AirPods and I don't talk about them that much. And, it was just kind of annoying. All he wanted to do was go get coffee with just the boys, and like I said, I don't like hanging out with just the boys. I like, hanging out with myself. If I want some company, I'll invite them on my seat, but not the AirPods, not the coffee, not the tanning. That's too much for me. And like I said, we never really clicked on that part, on that perspective of, coffee and whatnot. I don't even like coffee.
You're about to face Holliday in a title match. Maybe this is a good way to take him off of his game. Maybe you could steal his coffee, you could spike the coffee, or maybe steal his AirPods. That would certainly frustrate. That would certainly frustrate and upset him, don't you think?
Yeah, that's a really great idea, actually. He loves his coffee, so I never thought about spiking it, but if I do it, I'm gonna give you some credit, right, man?
Okay.
I'll be like, hey, man, this guy gave me the idea.
Nothing poisonous. I don't know, like some hot sauce or some mustard or something, Just...
Yeah, or some some NyQuil. I'll put some NyQuil in that.
There you go. So you mentioned you've been working on your cardio for this matchup, but what can fans expect when you finally get into the ring with Holliday? And could this be like a match that everyone's going to be talking about, basically?
Yeah, of course, because I haven't just been working on my cardio. I don't know if you've been familiar with some of my work, but I got a lot of little tricks up my sleeve, which include a lot of kicks. I've been kicking the hell out of this dummy out here that I got in my house. I go to training, I spar with some guys, and I got these little kicks that I got. And I got one with Richard Holliday's name on it. So I can't wait to knock off the little silly AirPods out of his head.
Now, for this match, you will be competing for the IWA Caribbean Heavyweight title. I mean, do you consider this a legitimate Caribbean Heavyweight title fight? And do you plan on keeping and defending the title if you win it?
Well, he did steal it from Savio Vega.
Right.
So I don't know how official it is. But I do I do wanna when I beat him, I do want to defend it. I'm probably go to the Caribbean and go defend it over there. After that, need some mamacitas from over there. That's what I was saying. Like, this guy doesn't defend it anywhere. He just tries to defend it at MLW. He should go down to the Caribbean and kind of, go represent over there. Go meet some mamacitas. Go show the culture of being the Caribbean championship. The Caribbean champion, I mean. And, yeah, man, of course I want to go defend it.
Would you offer a shot to Savio Vega and, make sure everything's above board this time?
No, because I already beat him. So,
okay.
I don't want to give him another shot. He's had his shots,
Okay,
he should
fair
probably
enough.
just stay in the Caribbean. If he wants, he can give me a tour of the Caribbean, though.
All right, so tell me what 2020 was like for Gino Medina. We had that hiatus, for the pandemic, but what were things like for you, and what was it like dealing, as an active wrestler, as a wrestler? What was it like dealing with all that from your experience?
I don't like to be the type that goes, yeah, I had a rough and whatnot and this and that, because you're just asking for sympathy out of people, or trying to get people to feel bad for you. But in my case, I felt like it kind of sucked for me, because I had just signed to MLW, and I had just kind of stuff was starting to get rolling for me, because I had just gone to MLW and I was getting a booking here and booking that, and I was kind of going all over the place. But when the pandemic happened, it kind of just put a whole stop on that, and I couldn't travel as much. I couldn't do anything. So it kind of stuck in that perspective, but it did motivate me to kind of know that I can get to that point, of traveling for bookings and going, out of state, going out of the country, doing this and that. It's just motivating me to kind of work harder and know that I got to be ready when I do get to that level again. When stuff opens up a little bit more now, and I'll be ready to go.
Now, since MLW has returned to action in recent months, from everything I've read and everything I've heard from other wrestlers on the roster, I feel like they have some of the most rock solid, strongest protocols and safety precautions for COVID-19 and the pandemic. How would you speak about that from your perspective and experience?
Yeah, man, it was great, because they constantly tested us. They made sure we didn't kind of leave our room and whatnot, and go out and and kind of, I don't know. There's a lot of spots now that are very, very bad, but people try to ignore it. But yeah, man, MLW was great. They didn't let us leave our hotel and whatnot. We had a gym there at the hotel, so we could work out as much as we wanted and whatnot. And that's all you really need. You just need some hotel. Maybe you call them a masita or two, and you're good. But MLW was great, because there was no fans either, which kind of throws you off your game a little bit. Mm-hmm. But you just gotta be able to kind of really work in there and be confident that what you're doing in there is going to translate to the crowd when they see it. When they eventually see it, that they're gonna like it. So yeah, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of it kind of sucks not having the crowd around, but we know it's not gonna be forever. So hopefully soon we get the crowd back in there though.
Have you guys heard anything about maybe bringing fans back in the coming months? Is there a timetable, or do you think it's just going to be a while until everyone gets the all clear?
I mean, unfortunately, I do believe that it is going to be a while before mm-hmm. stuff starts getting back into normal. Because there's a lot that goes into that.
Right.
There's a lot of people's lives that we put in danger just doing that. I live in Texas, man, and in Texas, they don't really care at all. People are just. I just went to the gym.
I'm from Texas, so I know all about that.
So yeah, man, I just went to the gym, and I was probably the only person that was wearing a mask now. There's a bunch of people not wearing masks, and I'm the only one being precautious with my gloves, with my mask, Right. But mostly because for what I do, I got to be exposed to a lot of other people, so mm-hmm. I don't want to, be the one that exposes them. So yeah, man, if it was Texas, they would have ran the show here a long time ago. But there's a lot of other places that
Right.
do take it seriously and whatnot, which I respect. I rather have a place that's like that than being down in Texas where they kind of don't care. But yeah, man.
Are you living in Houston right now? Are you based in Houston?
Yes, I live down in Houston. I train down here at Booker T's.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm also from Houston. So, do you like the
Okay.
do you like the Tex-Mex or barbecue scene down there?
Yes, I love the. I just went to. I actually wasn't just in Dallas, and I went to Bone Daddy's, which I've never been to,
Oh wow.
and they had this really good. They had this really good barbecue, and down in Houston, I know all the taco spots. You know, I'm Mexican, so I know all the taco spots, all the taco trucks. That's where I take all the mamacitas too. I take them to the taco truck. They come to Houston. I'm like, hey, I got you. I know where to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I love the food down here.
Yeah, so it's some of my favorite barbecue, favorite Tex-Mex, fajitas, all of that. So in back in 2019, you got to sign a multi-year contract with MLW. So how did it feel when you got to sign that multi-year contract?
It felt great because you know I've been wrestling like I like full time. I've been wrestling since I was what 16. I started training when I was 14 officially, and at 16 I started you know kind of really going out there, going out on the road and whatnot. So it took me about what like 9 years to finally get a contract. So to me it was pretty it was a big you know big achievement. You know, being able to just tell people, hey, I'm a fine wrestler. You know, doing that and then being somewhere like MLW, you know, where it's a place where like to me they do take wrestling serious. You know, they don't do none of the silly stuff. You know, they're just a wrestling based promotion. So to me that was very exciting to be there. And then just the roster is like packed. That roster is packed, and to me it's just very cool because like you go there. I don't know. Everywhere that I went, like here in Texas, I've always adapted, and every time that I adapted, I end up being one of the top guys. You know, so getting to MLW, I'm sure I can adapt to that style and that work ethic that everybody has there, and eventually I'll be a top guy at MLW too. So I'm very excited to kind of make a name for myself there.
What were your big takeaways training and learning under Booker T, WWE Hall of Famer, living legend, former world champion? Um, must have been a great teacher.
Yeah, man, I love training down here at Booker's because it's just I don't know. I was actually just talking to somebody else about this. I was just on Conan's podcast, and we were talking about Booker T, and we were talking about he asked me, him and Disco asked me straight away. They were like, "Hey, who'd you get trained by?" And I told them, "Oh, I got trained by Booker," and they instantly were like, "Oh, you know how to work, huh?" And that because it's learning how to work and learning that old school style. It's a lost art now. A lot of people don't know how to just work out there. So it's a very interesting style and a very rare style nowadays because we're in the style now where it's very more fast paced and people are doing all this crazy stuff and whatnot. But that's not what Booker taught me. Booker taught me how to work and how to be an entertainer. And a lot of that Booker teaches is a lot of like Shakespeare stuff. John Cena is on record of like putting Booker over on that, saying that Booker taught him Shakespeare to Booker wrestling Shakespeare, and it's being more over the top and, learning how to manipulate the crowd and whatnot. So I learned a lot from Booker on that perspective of like learning how to get a crowd invested into what you're doing in there.
So Gino, you're undefeated so far this year. You're about to face Richard Holliday in a huge title match. Is 2021 the year of Gino Medina?
Yes, sir. It's like I said last year, I didn't get it to make it my year because of course this whole pandemic happened. But I do believe that 2021 I can definitely take over and kind of just show the world who I am. Because I feel like for a while, people haven't been aware of me, and I've just been hustling, man. And that's what I do. I just hustle and hustle until I do get those eyes on me. And I feel like I'm finally getting those eyes on me, and I'm ready. I'm definitely ready to take that stage right there and be a champion at MLW.
All right, and last question: if you have any plugs, any social plugs you'd like to share with us, any merchandise plugs, any other projects you have going on, wanted to give you the time to share that with our listeners.
Of course, I'll be at you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter under TLHT, which stands for The Latin Heartthrob. You guys can find me on there, and you guys can catch me on MLW, beating Richard Holliday for that Caribbean champion. And if you guys are down that, Mania weekend this upcoming week, I'll be down there as well. I'll be at a couple of spots. So if you guys are up there, you guys can check me out there. And just keep an eye out for me because, like I said, you'll be seeing a lot of me in these past coming months.
All right, he is Gino Medina coming up against Richard Holliday on April 14th on MLW Fusion. You are not going to want to miss that. That is going to be a great matchup. Gino, thank you very much for your time and best of luck. I can't wait to see this one.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so that was Gino Medina with MLW, who's about to face Richard Holliday in a title match this Wednesday, April 14th on MLW Fusion. So be sure to check that out. And I will be working to hopefully get some more interviews in the coming weeks, so please stay tuned. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, on Stitcher, on Spotify. If you're listening to us on YouTube, if you can give us a like, a comment, a subscribe, I would very much appreciate it. But more than anything, thank you for finding the show. Thank you for listening to us. Everyone, please stay safe out there. And once again, I am the J to the E to the double F-ree. This is Jeffrey Harris, and you're listening to the 411 Wrestling Interviews Podcast. Thank you, everybody.